Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Got it by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Wednesday. Oh gosh, that is phalange stuck in Wednesday. Wednesday, February 24th. It's a packed day, jam-packed day, but I've already got my PJs on. Y'all can't see it, but I've got my PJs on, ready for this 9 p.m. tip-off. First off, legitimately should be out. Well, too bad timing today. You got the baseball game started at 4:30. Basketball starts at 9. It's like, I'm not going to get to watch anything.
Yeah, can we not level this out a little bit? Let's get a 6:30.
Yeah,
something go at 6:30.
Somewhere in there.
I guess it works out for us, but
yeah, it did hit the sweet spot. You're right about that. We do get to go live. You get a little baseball's not quite done with Arkansas Pine Bluff, but getting there. I mean, I guess it's all but over.
It's over.
Oh, it did. It just end?
Yeah, it just ended.
I was about to say it hadn't gone final yet when we started. So final. It went final.
Officially final.
Yeah, I was trying to say it officially because it was over when it started. What?
The fat lady has
8
sung.
runs in the first. Is that right?
Yeah.
8 runs in the first inning. So if it's officially over. Basketball starting off here at 9. You get another little pregame show again. That's 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row of pregame shows. It's a good time to be of Tennessee Vol. It's a good time to be a More Important Issues listener.
It is. We got a surprise for you coming about 8:15.
For me?
I mean, you'll be surprised too because I haven't really got to talk to you about it. But we're gonna be tweeting something out on our Twitter page, so be on the lookout for that. We'll get it to Facebook probably after the show. Be on the lookout for that.
I'm excited. Oh my gosh, 12 minutes? What the heck, dude? Why are you doing this to me? Now I'm pumped. Y'all need to. Are you gonna get to see my reaction? Like, is it something I'll react to?
I mean, I guess I'm gonna let you just.
Yeah,
I'll keep an eye out on you.
Okay, all right. We'll do that, guys. Stick along for the surprise around 8:15 or around 8:15. What do we need to be doing here?
Right around 8:15. Yeah, hopefully.
All right, good deal. So surprise coming here soon. Tennessee taking on Vanderbilt tonight, as I mentioned. That's always basketball's always exciting. Looking to get back on track after just not a great affair Saturday against Kentucky. Vanderbilt, not necessarily like trending good, but they're playing pretty good basketball. Scottie Pippen Jr. specifically playing pretty good basketball. 6-point losses, I think, both to Alabama and Kentucky in their last two. Scottie Pippen had plus 20.
4-point losses.
4-point losses. Had 20 plus in each of those games. So Vanderbilt kind of, maybe starting to figure things out, at least offensively. Tennessee's got, I'll call it a test tonight, just because you played poorly against Kentucky. Vanderbilt's played well. You got a guard who's scoring almost at will. So I'll call it a test.
Yeah, to me, it's like pick a card, any card. Like you don't know what you're going to get out of this Tennessee team. So
right, that's a good point too. Probably
don't bet on them, please. Do not bet on them.
The test probably has less to do with Vanderbilt than it does Tennessee. So, but regardless, going to be a good matchup. We're going to talk about our grade Josh Heupel. We actually mentioned it in the last episode. So we'll grade him out as of right now with no games played, and a 5-star now committing to you. Is that Friday?
Yep.
Sorry, not committing to you, making a decision on whether he'll commit to you or not on Friday.
You're in the race.
You are in the race, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, so it's coming
up. Hey, Tortoise wins the race.
He does. He wasn't winning early on though, which would be the case for this specific scenario. So yeah, you might have. Did you just give us a little foreshadowing? That'd be good foreshadowing.
It is what it is.
Wow,
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I guess we'll get right into Ty Simpson. If it makes you feel any better, no one knows. So even the people that are putting in the crystal balls right now to Alabama or Clemson, like their confidence level is very low.
Fair point.
So, and that's probably the way Ty wants it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely. Again, I mentioned. I think you can look at it from either direction. Like him committing early on after Josh Heupel got hired could be a good thing or a bad thing. Could mean he's ready to move on from Tennessee. You know, there's too much just questions at Tennessee, not just about the new coaching, but everything, especially with the violations. But you also could look at it like they got an offensive coach in here. He's ready to commit now. I think there's definitely two schools of thought there, and I don't think either of them is necessarily wrong. I know which one because I'm a Tennessee fan, and I've been around the program long enough to have a good. I'm not around the program, but watching the program long enough to know how it turns out.
Oh, we've been around.
Fair. I mean, around. But yeah, that's regarding Ty Simpson. That commitment's coming up Friday. I'm sure we'll talk plenty about that during this episode. We've got some players to watch next season. Going to talk about 2022 QB recruits and more than Ty Simpson. We did talk a little bit about that on Monday night. What's your backup plan? Now when you're talking about your contingency's got to be as good as your original plan. Contingency's what matters in terms of keeping your job there, Josh Heupel. So we'll talk a little bit about that. The Vanderbilt game tonight. Tennessee just needs to go take care of business. It's that simple. They just need to go take care of business. We'll get into all of that, of course. BaseVols. You put score and score and score and score. That's the only way. Like, that's the best way to put it. Beat a team they should have beat and just did it in dominating fashion. Again, we'll get into this, but Will Heflin, how many? He pretty much got the stadium queso on his own.
He almost did. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. He had 8 strikeouts in a row. So you needed 10 Ks for Queso, and he had 8 himself. So, I mean, what a performance by the senior.
And he didn't play at all last year, correct?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
no,
so
he
coming
did not
off
play
ACL injury. So good response from him, and he's going to obviously be big in the season for Tennessee. I'm sure Tony Vitello is very, very happy to have him back, especially when you talk about replacing a guy like you're looking for someone commanding on the mound. Losing that in Garrett Crochet, never even got to see him pitch in what would have been a promising year. You do get someone who just owns it with Will Heflin back. Got questions? If you got them, drop them in the chat. I know we got a few that we'll get to in the show. Drop them in here. I'm on Twitter. Landon's got Facebook. I'll pull up YouTube if I can. I had trouble the other night getting it up. So give me a moment. Tell us where you're listening from. Wherever you're listening from around the world. Let us know. I think we had someone from India one. No, where was it? It was some weird country that, not like weird, you know what I mean. That I was like, don't know why they're listening
I'm not digging you
show.
out of this hole. You dug it yourself.
That's fine. But I mean, cool that they're listening. Just a little shocked.
Yeah. Big geography guys learning every day. That's what keeps us on our toes. So, tell us where you're listening from. Also, go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, and Blue Water Climate Control. Also, go check out Volunteer Roadshow. They do a great job of letting us use their platform and their network to have this show. So, let's get into it. This show.
6
The
minutes.
show.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. All right. Heupel. So we talked about this grade, a little bit. We've talked about it since he was hired. Like, where do you grade this hire? Where do you grade his defensive coordinator choice? Where do you grade the big one was the Rodney Garner, just because obviously Rodney Garner is a good coach, but also like what he'll do in recruiting. And so we talked a little bit about that. So I'm thinking your grade may have changed because of some stuff that's kind of happened during the offseason here, or since he's been hired. With recruits, with guys who have already committed, and then last night, I guess the parents of the current players got together.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I'll kind of have the quote from Jalen Hyatt's dad, Jamie. He said, the parents had a Zoom meeting with Coach Heupel last night. His idea, by the way, Vol Nation, we have a players coach, who's going to love and push our sons to form a close team first brotherhood, to compete, to strive for excellence on and off the field in a myriad of different ways.
I'd have to. Okay, yeah. Anyways, I mean, yeah. If we're gonna look into that, that's good. I mean, he's first off, if you're gonna form a family environment, you better have all the families on the same page. And when you're talking about 18-year-old kids, 19-year-old kids, it's not just about those guys. It's about the guys and especially the guys' moms. If the mom ain't happy, probably aren't keeping the kid happy. And I'm not saying like playing time keep them happy, but bring them in, make them a part of the family. That's why you got those family passes. Keep them, keep them happy. So I mean, as far as that goes, I think that was a great move. Don't know if that was Heupel's idea specifically, or if there was somebody in office. He sounds like he's got somebody smart on his team at least, if it's not him.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know how often this is done. I don't know if it's just a new thing, kind of to meet with the parents. Because we're such in a Zoom age now.
I was about to say, I mean, I'm going to go with this is probably pretty rare. But I'd say with Zoom, it's probably going to become more common. It's easier to get a bunch of people together like that are based all around the country. Yeah.
And when Josh Heupel took over, I mean, it's not a great situation by any means of the word. But what he's done so far, like, I'm trying not to get excited about it because as a Tennessee fan, I know.
Yeah. And that's
but the stuff that he's kind of doing is making me a little bit excited, a little bit better. Like I feel a lot better about the hire. I feel a lot better about the program since he's taken over. The NLIs, that was tweeted out that he wasn't letting those guys go to an SEC school, and that obviously was false because Dylan Brooks went to Auburn. He handled that the right way. Having Marquez Callaway just after his press conference, he mentioned that he wanted to have those guys around the program. Callaway comes in, he posted on social media. I don't know if that was just a show, but it seemed like it was just an open invitation for those VFLs to be around that program. And then, you mentioned the parents meeting in with him over Zoom, and it looks like the players are, feeling a lot better about the change. So if they're feeling a lot better, I feel like I have to feel a lot better about it too. So my grade, I'll probably go B-.
I gave B- from probably the get go, and I'm gonna stay there. I'm just not gonna buy into. I'm not gonna buy into this stuff. I'll say it like that. What's like you mentioned, the players are happy, and that's good. But there's always some positivity that comes with change. There's always guys that are maybe weren't exactly happy with their roles here, and so they're gonna welcome the change. They're gonna invite the change. And I'm not saying those guys were looking to transfer or anything like that, but they're especially the offensive guys, and that's most of them that you've seen that are pleased with this hire. So that they're gonna be happy about it. But I do like that he said the right thing so far. So if we're gonna grade his how he's handled himself this year so far in his short time at Tennessee, and drop your thoughts in the comments as well. If you're just 100%, I don't give a crap until until this team steps on the field. I understand that. I get that.
Yeah, that's fair. Because you can't really have we're just trying to go off of a couple weeks on the job, but he hasn't done anything stupid.
That's a good point.
When they hired him, I was just like, really? That's who we got? But then you go and look at his resume and his background, and you're like, he does check a lot of boxes that we were really looking for. So my thought is maybe we found something.
Right.
Who knows? He seems to be trending in the right direction. Again, you don't know how successful he'll actually be until the games are here, the fall.
It's a lot of wait and see.
Feeling a lot better.
I'll say this: the fact that Jamie Hyatt doesn't hate you is probably a good thing because he seems like one of the most positive people I've seen. So if he was like, "Hey, to hell with this dude," it's probably like a red flag.
Right. I
haven't seen him, bashing anybody yet before, so it'd be tough to. If he did that to you, that would be a tough look for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think he's done a lot of good things. I think he's made some decent hires. I think he's made some really good hires. I think the Rodney Garner hire was really, really good. Maybe a layup for him. I think that was because he seemed like he wanted to be here before the stuff with Jeremy Pruitt went down. He's obviously got some Tennessee ties too. Auburn situation was, for him potentially a little toxic. Probably couldn't have stuck around, but he did have to complete it. He did have to go through it. So that, I'll give him credit for that for sure. He should get credit for it. I thought the defense coordinator hire was, fairly good. To be determined, very, very much so a to be determined hire. I like the Cody Burns hire. I think that's a good pickup as well. So I think there's been some good hires here. Still definitely in wait and see mode, but overall, Josh Heupel, I would say in the how many weeks he's been here? 3.5 now.
Yeah. So
in his 3.5 weeks, I would grade him better than a B-. But if we're just still going on like my thoughts on him, I'm staying at a B-.
Yeah. I'm good with that. I mean, he wasn't able to get, and it was an impossible for, if you weren't going to get like a home run hire, those guys are probably leaving anyway. But you weren't able to get some of those guys. Crouch is here. He was in the video working out, so he's here working out with the team. I guess he's going to go through spring practice. We'll see, but
that's one more linebacker than you thought you might have.
Exactly. Yeah, we need all of them. We're going to go down to in Knoxville and just offer every senior linebacker there is. Because we just have zero depth there.
Yeah, see if they'll come a couple weeks early, a couple years early.
Yeah, you got to hit on one, right?
Surely, you'd think.
I mean, if Nick Rivez can lead the SEC in tackles, I mean, somebody in Knoxville can step up to the plate and be at least a second string decent linebacker.
They might be first string though. I feel like you're giving too much credit to the amount of people that may be here next year. I don't know if there'll be that many linebackers on the roster at the start of 2021.
Yeah, but if your name's on it, you're at least probably second string.
Hey, you gotta give yourself a chance. A chance.
Exactly.
Do you have any more thoughts on Heupel as far as what he's done? Guys, drop them in if you got any extras. I mean, I want to know how. I think the majority of people are in the wait and see mode, right?
Yeah, you kind of have to be,
right?
Especially with what we've gone through in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to just be like, I'm not gonna say he's good until we see something. Right. I mean, and that's probably with everybody. You got to be skeptical about every single person that's in here because I think it starts at the top, with Plowman and Randy Boyd, I think that's where the problems have started, and we just haven't really got the right people in there. Hopefully we've got the right people in there now, and it'll start to trickle down. We'll see.
Right. Hopefully. Look, it looks, I like where we're at. I like Danny White. I think that's a good hire. So far, I mean, can't really complain. So yeah, I agree with that. For sure. Let's talk about some of the players to watch next season.
Yeah. So who are some players that you're excited to really see? It doesn't have to be on offense. It doesn't have to be just because we've made these hires. Just who are some guys? Maybe it's guys that produced last year. Maybe it's guys who didn't really produce that you'd like to see in a different setting. So
I think I think offense is the easy one. I think there's so many guys that are going to be exciting or have chances to be really, really exciting. I personally think Harrison Bailey showed the most potential. I think everyone just about would agree with that. So I'm really, really excited to see him at quarterback. I think the way Heupel, acts like he coaches in terms of being gearing his offense towards the players. I think Harrison Bailey should be the guy going forward. I'm excited to see him in a fresh new offense and see what he looks like. To be determined for him for sure, but I think he's going to produce some good stuff there. My next one offensively, Jalen Hyatt. Speed kills, man. He's obviously really talented. I cannot wait to see him in a place that tries to get him in an offense that tries to get him into space. Because, that's where he's going to absolutely just thrash teams is in space. So I think he'll be a great addition. And then running back, I think there's plenty of positives. And you lose good Lord, it escaped me. Eric Gray, and that's tough. But you do bring in Tyon Evans. I think that's big. Jabari Small showed a ton of potential. D. Beckwith got moved back there. You've got some other guys that to be named. I'm excited to see the running back group. I think there's a lot of talent there. How are they used in Heupel's offense? I think is going to be exciting to watch. Find out.
Yeah, and for Jabari Small I don't know how many carries he had last season. It wasn't a lot.
No.
But for him to be the most experienced guy on that roster at running back is pretty alarming. But you also have a lot of talent in that room as well.
Right. Who are the offensive guys you're excited for?
I had Jalen Hyatt down just because, like you said, he's a guy that just has a ton of speed and guy that can take the top off the defense. And that's what this offense is going to be used to do. I think Velus Jones Jr. is another one that can really be utilized in space and showed a lot of promise last year. And with good quarterback play, I mean, who knows? I mean, both those guys are probably,
for sure.
You would think maybe pushing some all-SEC teams if they had good quarterback play throughout the season. I just think the wide receivers as a whole really are going to benefit from this offense. And again, just tons of speed, tons of talent. I think that's where Tennessee's probably strength is next year is going to be a wide receiver. And guys, like Holiday, Callaway. I mean, I'm really excited about Malachi Wadman. I just think he's a freak athlete that you need to get the ball in his hands.
Right. Are we willing to say that Jimmy Holiday is going to be a wide receiver next year? Or, I mean, Heupel's going to put the best guy on the field.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I mean, that's fun to talk about, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at his high school tape, you got to be like,
Yeah, I think so. I agree. Yeah, it's fun to talk about. Won't happen, but it's fun to talk about. Defense. You got any more guys on offense that you want to mention before we flip to the other side of the ball?
I'll say this. Heupel was probably going to put Tyler Bird at DB and not wide receiver. I'll say that.
Well, I mean, he did score touchdowns. Don't forget that.
He did. But he's also an All-American at DB, so I'm going to go with probably put him where he's an All-American at. Who knows? What do I know about football? I don't know anything. I just want to throw his name out there, and you could say shut up. You can say F you, screw you. I don't care. I'm going to throw his name out there. Brian Maurer.
I don't think I'm not willing to say you're wrong. I mean, he seems to, have regressed since his time here. And I guess my question is that due to coaching or is that due to injury? And I don't want to say injury. So I feel like not a chance. That's why I say that.
Yeah. I mean, who was the other school that he almost went to?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. And that definitely works in his favor. But I mean, is he going to be better than Harrison Bailey, Caden Salter, and Virginia Tech guy? Good Lord. Hendon Hooker. Is he going to be better than all three of those guys?
I don't think so either. I'm just throwing his name out there to cause some buzz because he does know this staff probably better than anybody else. He does have that athletic ability that you want. He does play with fire, some moxie. So I'm interested to see him in fall camp and see and like you said, is it because of injury? Was it because of coaching? Was it because of the offense he was in that he just really couldn't figure it out? And I think he showed promise his freshman year, but last year, like you said, he kind of regressed. But yeah, I'm interested to see him in spring practice with Josh Heupel in this offense.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a name to look out for. I don't think it's out of question by any means. So yeah, and I want to flip to the defensive side of the ball here.
I got one more on offense.
Oh, one more on offense. All right.
Spraggins, baby.
Okay. All right.
I'll throw an offensive lineman in there. I think Cooper Mays could really benefit too. But Spraggins just seems like a dude that's going to climb and just knock people's block off. And, I think he's going to thrive in this offense. If they can, they're going to have to get in shape, that whole offensive line. But I think he's a mauler, and I love his story, how he was just snapping balls at a 7-on-7 camp, and they just made him work out. I just love that story, and I want him to be. He's a friend of the pod too. So
yeah, he is. Going to the defensive side of the ball, counter that offensive lineman talk, and I'm really the only guys that I think I'm really, really kind of very confident they're going to have pretty good years, and it's probably fairly, defined pretty good year. I don't know if they'll stats-wise have great years because it's tough to rack up a ton of stats as a edge rusher, unless you're an incredible edge rusher. Then it's a totally different story. You can look incredible. You can look far beyond how good you truly are. But that's Tyler Barron and Morgan Joseph. I thought both of them showed flashes of some really, really good stuff last year. Both freshmen. I wouldn't say they were undersized, but they're most of the time going against guys older and bigger than them. So how do they progress in year two? They're getting older. Their bodies are they're growing a little. I don't know if Morgan Joseph could grow into his body anymore. Honestly, dude's a freaking monster. But I think I'm excited to see them get a chance in year two. They both stuck around when they definitely could have left. So it seems like they want to be here. So I think that definitely adds some to it.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see like where Morgan Joseph plays too. Is he going to be like an outside linebacker? Is he going to be an edge rusher, kind of defensive line guy? I'm interested to see this whole defensive line. Tyler Barron, I think, is going to be on the defensive line. He's just bigger in size.
But that's a good point in terms of where.
But having Rodney Garner,
yeah,
a guy that can develop talent, you basically didn't have a defensive line coach last season. So I'm interested to see kind of this whole defensive line progress under Rodney Garner. But Tyler Barron, him being a leader too, just kind of been showed out there. He's been in the front of lines. He's been leading workouts and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see kind of where he's at as a leader on this team also.
Yeah, and you mentioned kind of where those guys are going to be playing next year. That's just a great question to ask because you don't even know what formation. You don't. It's going to be multiple. But what's that base going to look like? That's going to determine where those guys are most of the time. Obviously it can move around. But what's that base defense look like? I think that can determine a lot. You mentioned Tyler Barron's going to more than likely be on that defensive line. But Morgan Joseph could be a number of places, maybe 2 places, but a number of places.
Yeah, and you talk about the inside linebacker depth. Would he be there?
Yeah.
Do you have a spot for him there?
You may have to. Yeah, you may have to. It's a good point.
Jeremy Banks didn't really show me much last year to prove that he's the starter come I forget when the date is against Bowling Green, but he didn't show me much last year to solidify his spot. So
right.
I'm one guy along the defensive line I'm really excited to see, and that's Matthew Butler. A guy that was, the past 2 years, he's probably been your, most productive player. He's not flashy, he's nothing like that. But the guy just he's worked hard. He came here kind of underrated and things like that, but he's worked hard, stayed around, and just been a good football player for Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, with Rodney Garner, with, a different defense and things like that, I hope he's ready to take on a bigger role because Tennessee desperately needs guys that can get to the quarterback.
Right.
And if it's not going to be edge rushers, it has to be the interior lineman. And I think Matthew Butler would be your guy there.
Agreed, 100%. I like Matthew Butler. I like his progression. That's a good mention. Good shout out.
So did you get the surprise?
I got this. I just retweeted the surprise, guys. So if you haven't done it, rather you've retweeted it, liked it, done whatever, go buy it. Go get the shirt. The BaseVols shirt is now live on our Google Form store. So go check it out. Go get it.
And you got 2 options.
You got two options. We also mixed it up a little bit because I know some of you guys maybe bought it last time, might want to buy another one. I want one again because new is always better.
Exactly.
So we took out the BaseVols. It's just the Rifleman at Bat logo, just to add a little pizzazz. Next year may change. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe it'll be like the Rifleman holding like a broom after we sweep.
Yeah, need a good sweep one. That's a good point. I think that's a good shirt to print. We're gonna need Tennessee basketball to start getting some sweeps of their own. You can't really print that for just one team. We need some. We need some multiple sweeps. Multiple sweeps.
Truth. Any more defensive guys you want to talk about?
Not really. There's some talent there, sure, but there's really no other guy that I just know, but have, a ton of. How many guys left on the roster had a lot of playing time last year? Really showed you much outside the guys we just named.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's definitely some talented guys left on this roster. So to be determined. We'll see. I'll mention. I'll throw out one freshman. Because I mentioned him that I was high on him when he committed, and talking about a defense that's just trying to kind of create havoc and get turnovers and be fast. And that's Deshaun Rucker. The man flies around. I expect some hard hits, hard pass breakups, hopefully some turnovers as well from him.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the Whitehaven trio.
That's a good point.
They got a little bit of playing time last season. You have that linebacker depth that's just not there. It's non-existent. So hopefully those guys can kind of step in roles. Tamarion McDonald played some safety last season. I think he only gets better with another year under his belt. I think Trayvon Flowers, he started playing football, I think, his senior year. The more he plays football, the better he's going to be.
Sure, you'd hope.
And last year our safety struggled, but if there was one bright spot in the secondary, I think it had to be Trayvon Flowers.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe Bryce Thompson.
Yeah, to be fair, mostly both of those guys actually, mostly in run support. But yeah, they definitely, like you said, bright spot.
One other guy I want to mention, that's Alontae Taylor. He's leader on this team. He has all the athletic ability in the world, all the tools, but just he's got to limit the bonehead plays.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully that's a guy that's just learned from his mistakes over the years and just puts it all together for one last season at Tennessee. That'd be great.
That would be, yes, very good. We would appreciate it.
He's got every speed, size. He's great in run support, but it's the bonehead inconsistent plays is just what's kept him from reaching his potential.
Yeah. All right, let's we got to move along. Like we said, this is a pregame show. We're trying to get you guys to the basketball game. 9 p.m. tip-off. Yawn. I'm tired. I'm in my PJs. I can show them to you.
So dumb. 9 o'clock is so dumb.
I agree. Let's talk about these 2020 QB recruits real quick. With Ty Simpson committing on Friday, we'll see. Let's find out, but who's Tennessee gonna? I assume we don't really need to talk about Ty Simpson. I think every Tennessee fan knows who that is at this point. So who are some of the other guys?
Yeah, I think you're probably your backup plan, and we've seen some people mention this, and it's Sam Horn out of Swanee, Georgia, Collins Hill. Travis Hunter is a 5-star DB. He attends that school as well. He's one of his receivers also. I got some information on Sam Horn last night.
Oh, yeah? Insider?
I did. So I watched an interview, and then I got some information. I watched an interview, and he mentioned Tennessee as his dream school. Scary, I know. We've heard that before.
How long ago was this interview? I do got to ask. Is it recent?
It was it was like 2 days ago.
Okay.
So I don't know how hard Jeremy Pruitt actually pursued this kid. It seems like they kind of put all their eggs in Ty Simpson.
Which is understandable, honestly.
Yeah.
I get it.
But if you don't land Ty Simpson, then it crushes you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, I think they're trying to get back into that one. Florida recently offered the kid, but he's also a really good baseball player. And got the inside scoop on Sam Horn as a baseball player. And apparently Tennessee really loves this kid. Offered him already for baseball as well. And just a tall, lanky, 6'4", 190, tall, lanky pitcher. Those in the low 90s right now. So that's, he mentioned he wanted to play both in college. You come to Tennessee?
Come to can Heupel work? Heupel?
Come to the UT?
Heupel tweeted about the electric offense happening at Lindsey Nelson on Tuesday night. So how much you like that?
That's got to leave the door open. You have to let those kids play baseball too when they get here.
Yeah.
I know Trayvon Flowers was a Kentucky commit that, Pruitt never let over in the baseball facility. Let the kids play.
Let them play.
Let them play.
It might be harder to convince the the quarterback to do both, but that might be a hard sell. I get it.
But he's like, hey, the only way I'm coming here is I'm playing baseball too. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
ball's in your court there, buddy.
I like it.
So he's the number 82 player in 247's composite rankings, number 6 pro style quarterback. The one school he really seemed to like was Missouri. So that kind of makes me nervous. But Josh Heupel can say, I was a big key in Missouri and Drew Lock.
Yeah.
In that offense. So comes to the UT. That's all I'm saying.
I like it.
And you have some other guys, Caden Martin. Who knows what he's going to do? Is he just going to play baseball? I don't know.
Sure.
Does it depend on where T's at that point? Maybe.
And I think it's got. I mean, does he professionally? I don't have a clue. If he goes professional, it's got to be baseball. He can't do football right out of high school. But I mean, I feel like if he's going to go to school, I would think he's going to try and do both, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's where I would lean. But is the Tennessee stuff, is that kind of put him out of it?
Yeah, I don't know if he'd do it at Tennessee. I'm not sure. I just think if
I think he would probably look to play both if he were going to go to college.
Yeah, that's what I've got to think. I mean, because I think most people are in the camp of he's a better baseball player. Now he may not believe that. He may believe he's the better. Football's his better sport, or just the sport he just wants to play. And may put baseball on the back burner. But I think everybody's kind of in the boat of him being a better baseball player. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean we haven't really seen a ton from him. I know Catholic has kind of struggled since they've been in that new kind of classification in that private school league. They've had a real learning curve there. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, dude has a ton of offers. But if you're going to play baseball, you want to play in the SEC. So where's that going to be?
Yeah.
If you have an offer to play Major League Baseball or play in the minors, and you turn that down, the only way you probably turn that down is if you go to one of the top schools in the country, and you're going to find probably 15 or 14. It's not 14, more like 10 in the SEC.
And this is probably, this is a little different situation because we're talking about a Heisman Trophy winner. But Kyler Murray, how much baseball did he play in college? Did he play every single year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. I didn't know exactly what that said. I was about to say, because you're talking about, you could, because, football coaches will tell you whatever it freaking takes to get you on campus. So, you could get stuck in a really, crappy situation, get to campus and find out baseball's probably not going to work out. Now with the transfer rules and stuff, it would be easier to move away from that. But, I think it would be, if it's going to be a tough decision for Caden Martin, it probably means that he was drafted real early and has a nice signing bonus. Mm-hmm. And that, like you said, that's tough to turn down.
And after that, I don't really know where you go. There's some in-state guys like Destin Wade and Tevin Carter, but I don't even know if they're, I know they're dual threat athletes, or dual threat quarterbacks, but are they going to be used as a corner or safety at the next level? I don't know. So that's something interesting to see how that works out for some of those guys. I think it's you don't want to see the ESPN graphics that guys grew up a Tennessee fan. You're probably going to see it.
I'd like to miss
because one's not going to come here. Ty Simpson or Sam Horn. Don't miss out on both of them.
Yeah, hopefully it's like a who cares kind of situation when we see that. Hopefully, well, here's the thing: is if whichever one comes, hopefully one of them come and they work out. That graphic, hopefully, will never be ran again because if Tennessee's good, that graphic is not worth worth putting out. So,
yeah,
hopefully that's the case. We'll see. All right.
Preview time.
Yeah. Hey, also, I tweeted out that this game was in Thompson. I thought it was. It's at Vanderbilt. With like not going to the games this year is the same way with football. Sometimes I would forget where I just don't have even all my plans are based on watching it on TV since I'm not going to the games. So don't know what's going on at all. So it's at Vanderbilt.
Gross.
Sorry if that sorry if someone started trying to drive down to Thompson to get some tickets because of my tweet. Apologies. It's on me.
The worst arena
money,
or gymnasium
auditorium
in all of college sports.
It's an auditorium, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stupid.
I don't know what it's named.
I think it's like Memorial
Gymnasium. I believe that's it. I don't know. But ugly. You're right. But Tennessee does take on Vanderbilt here in about 20 minutes. We're going to try and get this show wrapped up for you guys. Don't worry. It will be we'll get you right into it, but let's talk a little bit about this game. Tennessee coming off of a ugly loss to Kentucky on Saturday, looking to bounce back. Vanderbilt played a Kentucky team that was trending in the right direction, played them really tough, and played a good Alabama team. Really, really tough, all on the back of Scottie Pippen Jr., and that's pretty much it, which is kind of the good news for Tennessee. You're not having to play a team that's just been playing really, really good basketball overall.
Yeah, I think they got to get to the rim. They can't settle for jump shots. They're not good enough to shoot the basketball like that. And that's shown throughout the season. But this Vanderbilt team isn't very good. But if you let them hang around like you have some teams, you could end up losing because they do have some talent with Scottie Pippen Jr., who's averaging around 20 points per game. Dylan Dessou is one that I'm probably worried about more than Scottie Pippen Jr. He lit up Alabama for 15 and 17. And Tennessee doesn't have much of an inside presence right now. Yeah. And they've been terrible rebounding. Hopefully Josiah Jordan James is back and that kind of helps the rebounding a little bit since he's your leading rebounder. But he's a guy that could really get under Tennessee's skin because of their lack of presence in the post.
Yeah, it's a good point about Dessou and what he's been able to do in the paint, especially of late. But I mean, I think he's pretty close to averaging a double-double.
Yeah, he's got 9.5 or 9.2 rebounds per game.
Yeah.
I think he's averaging 15 points. So,
okay. So yeah,
those are the two only players that really, I don't want to say matter, but I mean, those are the only two that you're really game planning around.
Yeah, they present a full test for you rather than, game planning for. That's for sure. And you mentioned Tennessee getting to the rim. That's a necessity. There was Will Warren, I think that's his name, that does the stats. Phenomenal job. Had an article today. I didn't get to read it, but it was about Tennessee and the amount of mid-range jumpers that they've shot this season. Don't know the number off the top of my head. It was an insane amount. Haven't had the chance to read it, and he talks about why they've settled, but then just statistically, what that tells us about this Tennessee team. And there's just too much settling. And I think, even the guys who are really, really good at getting to the hole, and that's Jaden Springer and Keon Johnson, they're guilty of it too. Now they usually find themselves in better spots pulling up, but they are definitely guilty of, pulling up from mid-range rather than trying to get to the hole. So, I mean, that's definitely something this Tennessee team has to fix going into March. March is here in 4 days. And this Tennessee team they have to change it quick. There is definitely a problem, with a presence in the post. But I mean, you've got it right now. I think it's just about the games that you score a lot of points, you are aggressive going to the hole. I've always said it's about how this team rebounds. It definitely was the case the last 2 years. I think it's less of the case this year. When this team's aggressive going to the hole, they score points and they win. And they're too talented. They have too many pure scorers on this team, not to score 55 points in a game. Too many. It's not. They've got to find a way to score 70 points a game. Got to find a way.
Yeah, and I think they got to stop letting people get off to hot starts on them too. You got to defend the 3-point line. I know Tennessee. I think there was a stat recently of Tennessee's not that bad with defending behind the three, but when a team is on against Tennessee, they're real on.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, what's the common factor there?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have terrible shooting teams that can just light it up from behind the arc. I don't know why it is. I don't know if the rim is just looks extra big in Thompson compared to other arenas. So teams shoot better there. I don't know what it is.
And it would be different if we were in zone too, but the fact that we're in man and people are lighting us up from three is weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the damage has been done in the first half, so I think we need to limit that, especially in this game. If you let Dessou and Scottie Pippen Jr. shoot threes, and the rim gets wider for him, just like Mintz against Kentucky. He was 5 for 5 at one point. I think he didn't hit a single one in the second half. But he got you so far ahead that, you didn't really fight to come back.
Right.
And Fulkerson needs to step up, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to write a letter to the guy, but I mean, this could be your last season, so you need to step up.
I've already done it while I was sitting on the plane. I think that's how the letter to JG started. While I was sitting on the plane. And it was a letter to John Fulkerson, but I CC'd Pals and COVID on it because do you hear? I just read it somewhere that Rick Barnes mentioned he thinks COVID's affected some athletes who've had it with some fatigue and whatnot. And man, Fulkerson has looked sickly some games out there. I don't know if I don't even know if he's had it. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if he didn't have enough Pals before the game. I don't know, man, but he's definitely looked under the weather a couple games. So I don't know if that's it. If that's it, I feel incredibly bad for him because that just sucks. I mean, it affects your respiratory system. It's got to be hard to breathe sometimes. But I think I'll be back. I think I'll be coming from the Tri-Cities area to Knoxville Friday night. They'll already be gone. Maybe I'll have to leave work a little early so I can get Fulkerson some Pals. Yeah. Before the team plane leaves.
Whatever you got to do.
Exactly.
We're out here risking our lives. So you can. So you are writing a letter?
I've already done it. Yeah, I sent it already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have the feather pen, dip it in ink, and write it like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I did the wax with my name, with my family seal to seal the envelope. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The fancy, yeah.
Like a declaration of John Fulkerson.
Yeah, exactly. Just letting him know that I'm not mad at him. I'm just disappointed in him.
You're just not playing good.
We need to find Ainge's letter right now. Are we talking about the same letter? I hope so.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
All right, good deal. I need to find it and just read it, but replace JG with Fulkerson. Just.
Yeah, I don't think Vanderbilt has a good enough team to really keep you from getting to the rim. I just think that's got to be a point of emphasis. You're not good enough shooting. Get to the rim, make some easy baskets, get penetration, and then if there's somebody wide open from three, just toss it to him. I mean, Victor Bailey has been hot the last couple games. He's actually starting tonight. Same starters as last game. So you have Victor Bailey Jr., Jaden Springer, Keon Johnson, East Pons, and John Fulkerson. Get to the rim and step up in the post, get some rebounds. Don't get beat on the boards. That's just embarrassing.
I agree with that.
Especially by this Vanderbilt team because they're terrible.
Agreed.
Anything else for basketball?
That's all I've got for tonight. That's it.
Just win.
I'll try to stay. I can't. I'm tired. I can't promise I'll stay up for the whole game. So let me wake up happy.
I'm gonna have to stay up because I can't go to sleep unless I know.
But
I will say this: if you're getting beat by 15 at halftime, I'm going to bed.
Fair. That's a good point. Ann mentioned on Twitter, said someone on Vol Nation claimed Folky is having back trouble among other issues. So,
well, I'll say this. That's kind of on Rick Barnes for not really getting a post player.
Yeah, I mean, I think big man's always been a concern of. I've been saying it for years that they needed to find a true big man, but yeah. Do you have one on your roster?
Urosh wasn't the answer.
Urosh was not the answer.
And you currently don't have one coming in the 2022 class. So, either somebody reclassifies or you're going to have to hit that transfer market pretty hard.
Yeah, and that's probably what you will be doing. Hey, let's get into BaseVols because 10 minutes until tip-off. We will get you all out of here as the game starts. I don't want to keep you for too long, and I know we want to talk some baseball.
Yeah, so Tennessee
Get it out. Yeah, they completed it tonight.
the sweep.
We need to paint that thing. That would look gorgeous in orange.
Yeah, we do.
Get creative.
We do. I kind of need a new one. It's probably pretty old.
It's used because you're sweeping so many teams.
Yeah,
back
I've
home.
used it so much
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I might need a new one. But yeah, they get the win last night, 21-1. It was just ugly. Poor Arkansas Pine Bluff. I mean, they didn't have a shot in hell.
Nope.
Last night they played, or tonight they played a little better.
I was gonna say they scored a little bit tonight.
But still, they were just overmatched. I mean, Tennessee basically played everybody on their freaking roster and destroyed them. I mean, we scored 11 in the 8th inning last night, won that one 21-1. You had home runs from Max Ferguson, Pete Durkee. I think before tonight, you had 5 different players have a home run. And now Evan Russell hit one. And so now you have 7 different players hit a home run, and you have 9 total on the season.
I think that was similar to Tennessee going into SEC play. I think it was something like 9 different players that had home runs before they started SEC play last year. I can't remember the exact stat.
Yep, and you've done that in 5 games. Today you got the win 14-6. You scored 8 in the first inning. You had, I think in the second inning, you had all 9 starters reach base.
Thanks,
somehow,
Ann.
some way.
Ann's getting off here. I need to say bye. She said great show. She's getting off. She said to remind
Who
her
said that?
Ann said she's reminding her old dad about basketball game. So
yeah,
good on you. Good on you, Ann, to make sure everybody's tuned in. That's a
great one.
Stuff.
Love that.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to say bye. So
yeah, see you. Thank you for listening for as long as you did. I know we're not the most entertaining, but hey, we appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, I got the win tonight, 14-6. Like I said, just pitched a ton of different people, and scored 8 in the second inning. It was kind of over at that point. They weren't going to come back.
Oh, it was the second inning.
First inning.
First
sorry.
inning. Okay, who had an absolute bomb tonight? Someone tweeted about it. I didn't see it, obviously.
Evan Russell absolutely destroyed a ball.
Yeah, they said it might have been in the river.
Yeah, and he's coming back from injury. So he's been hurt. So it's good to get him back in the starting lineup. And he absolutely crushed that pitch today.
Good for him. Love to see balls go far.
Yeah.
What are they adding?
Yep.
Maybe what are they adding? What is he wanting to add to left field wall? The left field wall?
He's wanting to like enclose it to make
right
it more
field
like a
okay.
Like you know how the Smokies, you can kind of go all the way around the park.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think they want to have it more of like an enclosed stadium.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah. 5-0, baby, on the season.
5-0, rolling.
Play this weekend. We play Indiana State at home, so go check that out if you can. I think there was some seats or some tickets available. I know some people were selling their season tickets on Vivid Seats, but I think there were some available for the past 2 games. I don't know about this weekend. I'm sure it'll be tougher to get tickets. But if you can, go check out this team. You're going to want to see them in person.
Yeah, they may not be playing this weekend. I know they have turf, but I think it's supposed to rain legitimately all weekend.
I think they mentioned something about maybe doing a doubleheader on Saturday if they can get those games in, because Sunday's supposed to be bad.
Gotcha. I'll need to double check Saturday's weather, but it didn't look good either. Friday to Monday, I think, is supposed to be pretty terrible weather. So maybe they get something out of it. We'll see.
Also, last night they had 7 players make their Tennessee debuts.
Oh, nice.
So like I mentioned, just playing getting everybody on the roster, some game experience. And with a long season, injuries happen, so you're going to need those guys to be prepared.
Yeah.
And just getting them live pitching against a team that's not wearing a power T on their chest,
right?
Is always good to see this early in the season.
Yeah, agreed. Hopefully they get to play this weekend. If they do, hopefully you get to see them. Do we got any questions?
Let me check. I haven't really seen that today. I've kind of been slacking. I've been busy all day. Like, work has been super busy this week. So let me see real quick. I'm sure my man Chris. I'm sure he had one.
Surely. Hey, do you have any? I don't have one today. I'm pretty upset with myself, and I'm too scared to like Google to look it up without putting in some more words around it. Do you have any nice? Anything for our new segment? Nice.
Oh man. I don't know. I don't know if this is nice, but did you see Rush Probst?
I did. Are you just going because this man survived a sex scandal with a teenager, with a high school student, but he can't survive recruiting violations.
Yeah, man. If it's not one thing, it's another. I mean, well, you know where Jeremy Pruitt learned it. Jesus.
I just like I read an article today about all the things he's been like suspended for, investigated for, and I'm like, recruiting? Like that's what gets you?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, you should be in jail.
It absolutely blows my
Whatever.
mind. Blows
I'm just
my mind.
like, because he always comes up, no matter what Jeremy Pruitt did, Yeah. Rush. There was always an article about how Rush Probst was involved.
Well, it was like Rush Probst always had like a comment about Jeremy Pruitt. Always.
Yeah, and somebody had wrote an article about it. Like, who gives a rat's ass what that guy says?
Murdered a man on live TV, and some people think he did when he grabbed Jared Garantano's face mask, but he didn't. He didn't kill anybody. And Rush Probst would have been like, I worked with Jeremy for a long time. He's a great guy. And then there would have been a whole article and a whole podcast.
Him punching Mark Richt.
That's a good point. Drunkenly, don't forget that, at Mark Richt's home with children present. So that story is, I don't think, true, by the way, guys. Before I get hit with like a defamation lawsuit.
Defamation.
Yeah. Chris said he didn't have any questions. It's been a long day. It has been a long day, Chris. It's all good, man. Hey, you get the night off. How does that feel?
Yeah. We're 3 minutes away, so we got to wrap this up pretty fast.
Chris, we always appreciate you.
Do you have any nice?
I told you I didn't. I let myself down, and I forgot. And I didn't want to Google nice not nice, 69 by itself. That felt like that could have come up bad on my search engine. So I'm going to sit this one out. I'll get one for you next week.
Any stupidities?
Yes. This one I've got lawmakers in, let me see if I can get it exactly and read it. Illinois lawmaker seeks ban of Grand Theft Auto game following rise in carjackings. This is a lawmaker in the same state as the city of Chicago and is going to blame the rate of crime on a game that hasn't been produced since 2015?
Hey, do what you got to do.
That is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
I have one, and it's Poverty Perry. He's an Alabama fan. He tweeted a picture of Alvin Kamara wearing a Bama hat after he committed to Alabama in high school. He said, "Bama legend, RBU." I'm like, what? That's real? That's a real tweet?
So who tweeted that? Like a known person? Or just like someone random?
No, somebody random.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
An Alabama fan.
That makes sense. He's not smart enough to figure that out. To be fair, it's probably a safe assumption that the best players in the NFL, did play at Alabama, which he did. So, it's a fair assumption to just think he was developed there. I get that. It's a fair point. Yeah,
so you also got to add in Hutch Community College too.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good
point. He spent the same amount of time there. He actually had more production there than he did at Alabama. So
right,
they're RBU.
Good point. Hey, am I living in an alternate reality, or was Alvin Kamara? Did he have some kind of fascination with NASCAR before the Daytona 500?
Yeah, he's an interesting feller.
For sure.
I'll say that.
But they were he's done something with NASCAR before, correct?
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
When he kind of has backed Bubba Wallace for quite some time.
Gotcha.
So I think he's
but-
been involved somehow, some way with Bubba Wallace. I don't know.
Good deal. All right. Well, I was like, I swear I've seen this before. Maybe I'm crazy, which is a fair assumption. So yeah, I was a little confused.
That's all I got. Do you have any more stupidities?
That's it, guys. It's 9 p.m. Go Vols. Beat Vandy. We're taking you right into the basketball game. ESPN's probably going to start it on ESPN News 2 minutes late. So you still do got some time to go to the bathroom, grab a drink, sit down, enjoy it. Go Vols. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Go check out our BaseVols shirt that we have available. Get those while they're hot. I think they're open for about a week, I think until next
March
Friday is when you can order. Yeah, is when you can order those. And thanks for tuning in. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.